Hey y'all, first things first, happy Father's Day. Appreciate all the dads and everything out there that had a little bit to do with bringing us into this world, at least at first. So appreciate all the things that you've done out there. My dad's still alive at the ripe old age of 85. He is still kicking, still mentally doing great, still physically as good as an 85-year-old can get. Still hard-headed, tore his rotator cuff because he was bench pressing 125 pounds at the ripe old age again of 85 and didn't want to wait on his spotter, had to get it done. So that's just the way it goes sometimes, but doctor says he's good enough for surgery, so you folks out there, if you pray, be praying for him, for my dad, Ramdino Sr., and appreciate everything that all your good thoughts and prayers and anything you can do to send his way out there. But let's get on what you came here for, and that's what going on out there with the through hikers. So we've got Nichols. He is slowly, steadily making his way through the whites. Nichols says that he is doing more and more miles that are not necessarily on the AT&T while he's going through there. He realizes that his time is coming to a close quickly and sooner rather than later. He's in the whites, and so he's doing a lot of kind of side stuff, side quests, some side peak bagging that he's doing up there. So I think that's pretty neat to go and try to wring everything you can out of the AT. I know people take off right out of the gate when they leave Springer, and they're just trying to make those miles, and they get their trail legs and they get up to 20, but all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're in New Hampshire coming up on Maine, your last state, and you realize that your hike is almost over. So go for it, I say, Nichols. He got to do some work for stay at a couple of the huts up there, the Greenleaf and the Zealand so far. He's hoping to do more as he goes along, and here's his video update.
What's up, Rangino? It's Nichols. I've made it to the whites, and really enjoying slowing down with the AT miles. One benefit you get from slowing down the AT miles is all the fun extracurriculars. I'm working my way up Mount Willie right now. I've also hit Cannon, Liberty, Flume, Galehead, and Zealand. And later on I'll be hitting the entire Presidential Range and Mount Moriah. So slowing down, embracing the side quests, and just really enjoying the White Mountains.
Sounds like he is squeezing every bit of the trail time out that he can up there. He also sent in this video update here, or a video rather, of what he experienced there in Vermont, of some overgrown trail sections. So this just looks like nothing but a bed of ticks, and you will be sopping wet in the morning trying to walk through this stuff. So that's the way it goes sometimes. Some sections of the trail are better maintained than others. So appreciate you sending us in there, Nichols, and give us a little glimpse of what the trail could be like. Gadget Girl and Bunny, they had a neat encounter in the Shanties, and they sent in this video update.
Hey Ramdino, it's Gadget Girl and Bunny. We have made it to the West Virginia state line. Even more interesting is what happened last week in Shenandoah National Park when I came across a trio of bobcat kittens and their angry mother. We had a standoff for about 5 minutes before I was able to get past her.
Pretty dang cool, although those are not the kind of kitties that you want to come up and pet. You just best stay away from those because they'll get after you just as sure as the world. Sweet Potato, she sends in her video update.
Wanted to send a quick update while I have a little bit of service. I left Harper's Ferry yesterday, and I was just in and out for the day. Had some fabulous food at the Rabbit Hole, and also had an avocado at the bakery. And I packed out a sandwich from the country something or the bar, pub. It was cute. Never been to Harper's Ferry. Really enjoyed walking through the town. Met a fellow pass-through hiker that let me stash my pack and charge my electronics, and so I'm very grateful for that. I wanted to share a video that I did on my channel, just some yoga stretches. I've met people on and off throughout my trip and often ask me what to do. And I made this video and it's been well received, and so I thought I'd share it here.
Drifting Blue, they have made it to Delaware Water Gap and on into New Jersey. They sent in their video update.
Hi Ramdino, Drifter in Blue here, just checking in. We've made it to Delaware Water Gap, so we will be crossing over into New Jersey tomorrow morning, taking a 0-day today in town just to rest our sore feet and ankles from all those rocks in Pennsylvania. But I just want to check in, say hello, and let you know we're doing fine and we're making our way north. Take care, and thank you very much.
No rush, no rush to Elder and Chopsticks. They're around the Front Royal Trailhead. They should be in Harper's Ferry. Probably hit that yesterday and send in this video update.
Hey Ramdino, it is No Rush to Elder and
Chopsticks,
and we are at mile
961.2.
and we're heading into Front Royal today. It's been a great hike. It looks like a little bit of rain today, but who cares? We're going into town.
Woohoo!
Y'all have a great day, and we'll see y'all down the trail.
Later.
Payday, he is made it to Waynesboro and heading on north. He sends in his video update.
Good morning, Ramdino. Payday here, coming up Coal Mountain, about a day or two outside of Waynesboro, Virginia right now. Trail updates for this week. It's hot, it's humid, and it is really dry. Talking to the locals out here, they said that this section of Virginia hasn't gotten rain in weeks, and there's no forecast of rain anytime soon. So all the water sources are starting to dry up, and apparently we're under a heat dome warning, which means it's going to be mid-90s, hot, humid, indefinitely. Oh, just check out this view. Oh, I can't. My camera screen's really smudged from the sweat, but it's hot. Drink lots of water for everyone hiking in Virginia, and happy trails.
Hot, dry, and humid. Welcome to summer on the Appalachian Trail. Stick the Eagle, he's in New Hampshire, somewhere around the Kinsman, and sends in his video update.
Hey Ramdino, it is Stick the Eagle here in the White Mountains in New Hampshire. The trail is very steep and rugged. It is slowing me down quite a bit. I've done 2 sub 10 mile days, which I haven't done since Georgia. The trail goes up. This is the trail. It's like about shoulder height almost. Just right there that we have to climb. So there's some pretty serious climbs. There are parts of New Hampshire after the rains we've had that are super, super muddy. I just encountered a boardwalk under 3 inches of water halfway up Kinsman Mountain here. So it will slow you down, and be prepared for the mud, because when there's not rugged terrain and rocks, there's mud. So you have to kind of use your trekking poles and tap in front of you to make sure you don't post hole through a foot of mud and follow the boardwalk that's mostly underwater. So anyway, we're still enjoying it out here, just moving slow. Have a great day and keep on hiking. Embrace the journey. When the boards are underneath a couple inches of water, you have to tap, 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 because then you find it's much deeper there.
Master Splinter, he and Leo, they are in Vermont, and they are almost done, if not done by this time. So we had a couple congrats, huge congrats to go out there to some folks that summited that had been updating us. So we got Waterboy, he left on Springer on June 13th. He was Nobo number 21, so he started, he summited on June 13th. He was Nobo number 21 when he summited there at Katahdin. He started back on February 14th. And also summiting with him was Pac-Man, Steady, and 2020. So they also summited then. And then Zeb, he is finished on June 10th.
Hey Ramdino, Zeb here. I just climbed Mount Katahdin and finished my 2024 No-Bow hike. It's February 3rd. And it is all done today, June 10th. That joined me. And we're in a misty cloud today, but boy does it feel good to finish. So good. Alright, final scene for Novos, you got it. Everybody else, Sobos, everybody got it. Super great, delayed gratification. Alright, bye.
So congratulations to those guys for up there for summiting. That is awesome. And thank you so much for your updates throughout the course of the trail, and look forward to whatever your trail legs got for you next. Off trail, Sugar Bear. Now this is not the Sugar Bear that had the heart attack, different Sugar Bear. Sugar Bear, he made it to Damascus and he had to pull off trail. He's got some injuries to his knees and a couple other medical issues, and he is not going to be continuing this year. So he does hope to get back on the trail later on. And then I want to give a huge shout out there to Julia J. She supported me through a super thanks this past week, and she is a repeat super thanker. So super thank to you too, Julia J. And that's just one of the many ways that folks can support. Of course, you become a Patreon member. You can support me through by buying merch from the merch store that I have. And by the way, go to that merch store, and even if you don't buy something there, maybe it's because there's not something there you want. So let me know if there's some things there that you want. Let me know if you want my ugly mug on them or not, or just something else. So, of course, it doesn't do me any good to create a merch store and there not be merchandise that people want out there, right? So, but thank you for your supports that. Thank you for your supports through just your thumbs ups and your comments and your subscriptions, and mainly sharing this channel with other folks. That's what it's all about, is we want to build the hiker community, we, me, you. And you know, it's not about me at all. It's about the hiker community and about what we can do together to build that and to support the thru hikers as they go on throughout their march, whether it be no-bow, sub-bow, or flip-floppers. So appreciate all the support that you folks out there give me. So we do have a little bit of trail news going on. So our Trail Angel correspondent, Spineless Cougar, it's getting late, folks, on Father's Day. Spineless Cougar, he is our trail angel, and he's up in Vermud, and he oftentimes will send us some data that he's collected. And so some of the data he collects is pack weights and whether they've had noro, and when they left, things like that. And so some of the updates he's given us right now, to begin with, he says the horse flies and the black flies are out in full strength up in Vermud. And he also says the mud has come back in full strength as well. So been having a lot of rain up there, and that just turns that soil up in there and the trail up there into just black, sticky, gooey mud. But this week, he says they're expecting to have temperatures near 100 degrees and very humid up there. So his pack weights that he had this past week, the average pack weight was 26.25 pounds. So I'm thinking that, you know, by the time you get to Vermud, you've already gotten rid of a lot of stuff, most of the stuff that you're going to get rid of. And right now you may have left Springer with winter weight, but you've lightened up because now you're on your summer weight. So don't have as much thick clothing, heavyweight clothing. You've probably slimmed down on your sleeping bag, maybe on your liner if you use a liner, and then you may have just gotten rid of some stuff you realize you just dang well don't need. So that's some of the reasons why people reduce their weight when they get there. So the average, again, was 26.25 with a high pack weight of 40 pounds. I think that person may have added some on the way up there. And a low of 20.9. So he didn't have any ultralighters that were coming through there this week. The highest bag tag number he had was 96, and the lowest bag tag number he had was 276. The earliest start date he had was on February 19th, and the latest was on May 2nd. So this was this is just last week. So if you've already gotten up there, and here it is middle of June, and you left the 1st of May, you are humping it to get it up that far. If you have walked every mile of that, and it's all been on the trail. So that's a lot. That's a lot for somebody to go up there. Not saying somebody didn't do it. I'm just saying that is you're humping it. And he did say from the 12 hikers that he had listed there that none of those had gotten noro since they've been on the trail. Ken and Jill from Camp 43 in Wrangley, Maine. So they are a new hostel up there, and they said the early nobos have been getting to be really steady coming through there. And they also said the trails are very wet up there in Maine. Did have a new bear report that came out from the ATC. So the ATC received a report of a food conditioned bear at the Stewart Hollow Brook Shelter in Connecticut. And that is Nobo mile 1,480. Said the bear stole a pack and ate hiker food, and it lingered around the shelter after the incident. So I guess it didn't get enough out of that pack. It was wanting more. So that's pretty incredible to steal a pack. I don't know why somebody didn't have their pack somewhere where it couldn't get on their person or somewhere close by where they couldn't get stolen. So I don't know. That's pretty incredible, but you know, maybe if you went to dig a cat hole or use a cat hole or something like that. So just be careful out there. They will take your food bag and your whole pack, and probably your pack is not going to be in the same shape it left you when you get it back, if you get it back. And then we are still searching for Sadie. So Sadie is the fur baby of Bright Eyes. And last week I mentioned about it was the child of Bright Eyes. And I had somebody say that was an insult to people that have lost children. And while that is certainly a huge, tremendous tragedy, much worse than losing a dog for the most part, but some people, their animals are just like their children. We are empty nesters, and so we treat our dogs, they're just like our kids now. We look after them, we take them to the doctor, we feed them good food, we feed them stuff that we could eat. And so they are like our children now. That wasn't meant as an insult to people who have lost, missing, or children that have passed on in any way, shape, or form. And most of you folks would know that if you've been watching my channel at all. So not sure why somebody feels the need to make basically a mean comment like that. And I'll just be honest with you, there's too much meanness going on in the world. This channel is all about being positive. We're going to get off the subject because that's what we're about, is being positive here. Being positive for the thru hikers and the thru hiker community and the hiker community in general, and just for each other, being there for positivity in each other. So my mom always said, if you can't say something nice, don't say something at all. So I think that ought to be part of the comment section. Not trying to cut back on anybody's right to speech. I'll take so much directed at me. When it's directed at other people, it's probably going to go away, because I don't believe in being mean to other people, and this channel ain't gonna be mean to other people. Let's keep on going. What's going on out there? So, but let me get back on Sadie just a little bit. So Sadie is still missing. It's no longer a ground search. I say that, but there is a special person, at least one special person. Her name is Denise, and she is still very much doing a ground search for Sadie, for Bright Eyes. So Bright Eyes is Canadian. Right now she can't be here in the U.S. because she's used all of her time and she had to go back. And Denise is out there doing heroes work for Bright Eyes, helping, trying to track Sadie down. And she's gone so far as there was some sightings of a dog that matched Sadie, or could be Sadie, that was coming in at night to a shelter near the area. When I say near the area, I mean within like a 100-mile radius. So we're looking everywhere for Sadie. Sadie, if she was abducted, could have got away from her abductor. And dogs are smart. She could be heading back the way they came, trail north. I had somebody else send me today a picture of a dog, a stray dog that came into their campsite, or came into a person's campsite that they're watching on Instagram. And I think it was around mile marker 542, which is north of where Sadie went missing, around Max Patch. But the dog came in at night. So obviously that dog is, one, it's wanting to be around humans, if for no other reason that it needs some sustenance. Can't find anything out there in the wilderness. So it came in the campsite. If you have a dog come into the campsite with you like that, and this dog was down on all fours, it was not threatening, wasn't growling, anything like that, wasn't baring its teeth, If you have a dog that comes in like that, give it some food. It's somebody's dog. It is a being out there. Try to help it where you can. I know it's inconvenient to get up in the middle of the night because that's probably when it may come. If it comes during the day, definitely do this. But even if it comes at night, get out of your tent, throw it a bar, breakfast bar, granola bar, whatever, and try to help it out. See if you can see some tags on it. Take a picture of it. Report it to the local Humane Society and the local Lost Dogs on Facebook page that you can find. That was somebody's dog at one time. Most dogs are just not wild, and most dogs are not going to come into camp like that that are feral dogs. And so this was an old dog. It deserves to spend its last few days, last few months, last years, what have you, with a family, with somebody that loves it. So help that dog out, even if it's just a little convenient, even if, just for the night it wakes you up, it keeps you up a night, even if it just maybe takes you away from your hike from a day or two. Do something for another one of God's creatures out there, and just for another creature, and help it out in some way, shape, or form. I would hope that people would do that for Sadie or for any dog that's out there. So we're still looking for Sadie anywhere from, really anywhere up and down the trail. So it's all online right now for the most part. So if you see a dog on somebody else's video or Instagram, like a lot of people have been sending in to us, please send that to us. Please send the link to that, and if it's a YouTube, the time code or whatever, so that maybe it's just a dog in the background somewhere, just something obscure. But it only takes one person to send in a picture of Sadie for us to find her. So help us out with do that. We greatly appreciate that. And then I'm awful excited this coming weekend. I'll probably definitely delay the update because I'm going to be out there on trail for a long weekend. Not doing that many miles out there, but it's not the miles, it's getting out in God's creation and just enjoying the time out there on the trail. So I'm going to be doing that up in Virginia, from starting out at Buena Vista, going over the Priest, and probably just going to the next trailhead after the Priest, because that's all the time I'm going to have. And the next, I like to do on the weekends, long weekend like that, I like to do 35 or 40. The way that the trailheads are working out, it would turn into like a 50-miler, and I'm just, I don't have time to do that as much as I'd like to. I am doing a lash coming up in August up in Pennsylvania, so I'm pumped up about doing that. That's going to be somewhere around the 11th or 12th of August, but right now I'm focusing on this coming weekend, so I'm pumped up about that. If you're out there in the neighborhood, I've had a few folks reach out to me and say they can help me out with some shuttles, so that is awesome. If you'd like to come hike out there as well with me, come on. The more the merrier. I love hiking with folks. Folks, that's all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.